left off with you guys. It usually lasts for about 4 hours, usually till about 7. Um, when we last left off in this particular game, you guys had acquired a new friend, or at least one of you had, in the form of a giant spider. You've taken down a couple of other spiders in the large well room, and we're now trying to figure out your next move to cleaning out this temple. It's still a fairly old, the temple that hasn't been opened in 100 years, so it's somewhat musty and dank, but clearly, some spiders have gotten in, so there must be an opening somewhere other than the front door, which was basically keeping normal people out, like, keeping the typical, like, treasure hunters out, and people like you out for the most part, until it was opened recently by the cult of well, not really cult, the worshippers of Anubis who wanted to reopen their temple. You guys are currently standing around in the main hall area, the main entryway, deciding on your next move. So what would you like to do now? You see a hallway over here, old and dark. That reminds me, is one of you carrying light, or are you guys all just basically seeing off of Ember? Because Ember kind of glows.
I will cast some light on myself.
Alright. Do you know how to put little dots on your token?
I do.
If you can put like a yellow dot in your token, that would be great. That'll indicate to me which of you is holding light. Since we're using, instead of using lighted passageways, we're just using the fog of war. Alright.
Are you light too?
I am light.
Yeah, her hair, I think, is literal fire, isn't it?
Yes and no, depends on how mad she gets. But I also have dancing light.
Oh yeah,
she sort of makes me think a little bit of Flame Princess from Adventure Time.
She is fire. She is
death.
And angst.
Credits.
Lots of angst.
And her dad claimed she was evil, but she really wasn't. But yeah.
Well, this guy's pretty fed. I scritch his belly.
I am on fire.
I panic for at least 30 seconds that Ember is on fire. Try to throw her into the well.
You're not even...
Oh.
The well is currently full of brackish water.
Yep, that's what pleased me most by it.
So, you're looking down a pretty dry-looking hallway. Dust fills there's kind of the dust like suspended in the air. Roll a perception check, Max.
Okie dokie.
Oh, we have a J this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see any indication of anybody coming down this way. Things have been smoothed over. There's a few rocks and stones here and there. The ceiling looks a bit like there's like old planks up there. Like instead of made out of stone, like the ceiling has some wood embedded into it. Different places.
Naps will just kind of put a hand on Max's shoulder. May I just take a look before we move through, please?
Why? The halls...
I think I just lost your voice. Hold on. I heard why and it all blinked out.
Can you hear now?
I said why, and there's nobody in here.
Naps is responding. The people at the temple, they say there are many traps in here, and maybe these planks are part of this. I don't know. But rather than get squished, maybe take a couple seconds, yes?
Max will just shrug and step aside.
Naps will try to investigate and see if he can find any signs of trap.
Alright. Alright, roll me an investigation check then. Yeah, Max doesn't see anything more than what Max is already seeing. He's like, just seeing a completely stable looking floor, just, a few stones here and there along the sides. The ceiling, which is wood in various places. But he's not seeing anything else obvious.
I told you there's nothing in there.
Just Max, I'm just paranoid. Please continue.
Ember's just fixing her nail.
Or walk in this totally not trapped area.
Sorry, and that one actually is a hallway, not a door. And then the hallway bends to the north right up ahead.
Was this a door?
Well, it's meant to be a hallway, but go ahead.
Okay. It's black.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Forgot. I'm so used to looking at it that way that I completely forgot that that's the thing. Now, there is a door partially open up to the north here. You can sort of make out more dust and webs going forward.
I opened this door because totally nothing behind it.
Totally not a monster. Ah! Monster!
There's a web. Stop! Bear.
I would like to close
Bear,
the door.
you hear a clicking noise. Roll a 1d2.
Had to go on the other side of the hallway.
Alright. So, your foot depresses on something, you hear a click, there's a bit of a shifting above your head, right where the planks are, and some dust just filters down. It feels like this trap failed to trigger. Like, it was, old enough that it broke down, maybe something filled in up there. But you're very lucky, because it looks like the whole ceiling would have fallen down over your head.
I take the time to write with a piece of chalk on the wall.
Ember,
danger.
Are you seriously ready?
No.
Okay.
I'm just being an asshole.
Okay, Max closes the door right after he sees a little movement in that room. Wait a minute, Max, do you have dark vision? Okay, cool. Then, yeah, you saw movement in the dark of that room. I thought so with half-orcs.
Yeah, I write on the wall, danger, loose roof. I hope you're having a nice day.
So, there's something in that room. Should I just charge it and attack it or whatever it is?
That's up to you guys.
What if it's like something nice in the room?
Like...
By the way, in addition to the giant spider, Max, what you also saw in that room, just from the quick glimpse, is that while the other room had, tiny little bodies in the webs, clearly rats and everything, you actually did see something much bigger in one of the webs in this particular room that you're in front of the door for.
Then
Something more person-sized.
So he saw webs and something person-sized?
Yes, there's at least one bundle of something person-sized in there.
I also say, and there's a giant spider behind this door.
No.
But you already have a giant spider.
Well, like I said, we don't have to destroy all the spiders. We just have to get them a new home. Since we have one friend, it'll be easier to get two friends, and then we just lead them somewhere else.
You want to talk to this spider then?
Oh, I would like to. I mean, unless you want to do it, I suppose.
I don't know how to speak spider.
I don't know how to speak spider either. I speak friend.
What?
I go up here, and I open the door, and I speak friend to this spider.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I was looking down for a second. I saw Max move over one. Max, You hear a clicking noise as you step there.
Oh.
Roll a 1d2. Up. All right. So, as you step aside to let Bearhide get up towards the door, you hear click, and you glance up for a second, and suddenly a scythe trap comes whipping down, and roll a dexterity saving throw.
You're not dead, Max, except for inside.
Danger signs. Yeah.
Woo!
Oh!
So the blade trap goes whooshing right through the air that you were just at as you jump backwards.
Get fucked, trap. I don't taunt the trap in game.
It then clicks again, and there's just a blade just kind of hanging there in midair now.
I think something's trying to kill me.
Oh. You almost got a close shave there.
Yeah, there we go.
Isn't her?
It looks like the trap sprung and isn't automatically resetting itself now.
All right, I will go up and open the door, and I will speak friend to this spider.
All right,
Nice.
you still have speak with animals.
Yeah, I got the furbolg and the shepherd druid stuff, so I just say,
Excellent.
Oh, hey there. How are you today?
The spider moves around in its web and peers down at you and clicking in such a way that Bear, to everybody else, you're probably just making clicking noises and they're not figuring out what the world you're doing either. And Bear, you're hearing clicking noises back, but you kind of understand it as food. Hear food.
Oh,
Tasty. Yummy.
and we've got like more rats than my spider friend could eat. I grab a couple of rats, and I bring them back and I toss them into the spider.
The spider catches the rat and starts making a slurping noise. Slurp, slurp. Of course, you're familiar with this at this point with the other one.
all the best foods are in, come through straws, eh?
Spider just kind of wiggles up in its web and settles down, slurping its meal. Bear,
Hey,
at this point, you can see that there is a more person-sized body kind of laying in the webs around here.
I say,
Oh, so listen, Spider. We've got an issue here because the people that own this place, they don't want you in their temple anymore. So we've
This home, you hear it clicking. Born here.
Oh, I understand. It's tough to leave home, but I'll help you out the whole way.
Roll a persuasion check.
Do it. Do it.
I think I am proficient in persuasion just so I could talk to animals. I have advantage. A 10.
The spider, gazes at you from the doorway, from up in the webs, and the desiccated corpse of the rat drops from its jaws, and it peers down at you and says, "No, leave home."
Oh, but I'm I have to send you away forcefully.
Makes a few clicking noises with its mandibles. And you can kind of take that as a challenge, like, try me, or something along those lines.
Before I back away and let the heroes do the hero work, does the roof above said spider look like it is perhaps dusty and prone to cave-ins?
No, the roof in this room looks like it's a pretty good repair, all stone. But you can see
Okay.
that there's another, chamber leading off that way, beyond it.
Well, I'll take your terms to my friends here, and we'll discuss it among ourselves.
And I'll come back over here and I'll say,
Yeah, this spider is racist. We should probably put it out of its misery. It hates people. I heard it saying lots of stuff.
I'd like to charge in.
Alright. Initiative.
Bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-da-da-da-da-da.
I'm just standing in the
I didn't
back,
get a tracker.
blowing on my newly painted nails. Like, what's going on?
Okay. You painted your nails? That's got to dry really fast.
Right? Hoping.
What color?
Red, of course.
You got to break it up. You should have gone with black.
Her nails are initially black. But they're little claws.
Fluorescent green.
Yes.
I think I've had
Glow
that
in the
color at
dark
some
color.
point.
Rainbow.
That takes dedication. Alright, so, Naps, you get to go first.
Nap says, "Where's the fire?"
I raise my head.
Fire's back there with Ember. You
And
saw
he gets
that.
over yonder
Yeah.
and goes pointy point end into the spider if all things go. Things did not go correctly.
Yeah, the spider looks like it's going to grab you and eat you when it gets a chance.
I would much
Max.
prefer if it didn't.
And all around you, Naps, is, even as you're attacking the spider, you can see that there are, like, old workbenches and whatnot in this room. Little instruments. And you also see a door off to your left as well. Alright, Max, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna recklessly swing at the spider.
Spider pulls its body up a bit, just avoiding your reckless sting, and seems to be focusing all of its eyes on you now, Max.
Alright then. That's all I got.
Bear.
Level 2. Level 2.
Okay. This is a fight, apparently.
Yes, it is.
I would like, if possible, to win the fight. What do I roll for that?
You charge up there and get into the spider and do what you need to do.
I would like to... And nothing cool. I will come up here and cast... Frostbite. That does a cold damage. We did it, ladies and gentlemen.
We have a winner.
Go team.
And he
Man.
succeeds anyways. Does no cold damage.
Yep. It just kind of sits there and absorbs it. The spell just seems to bounce off of it. Almost as if it's immune to freezing cold. The giant spider, however, ignores that attack and goes straight for Max.
Because he's squishy and good with ketchup.
Yes, actually, he probably is to the spider.
Oh, fuck.
Ouch.
My
You're
face.
gonna die. You're gonna die.
The spider just kind of reaches down and
I think I'm
bites
dead regardless
right
of
on Max.
whether I save or not.
Yeah, but is it double your max? 'Cause I don't think that is. I think you're just
No.
unconscious.
No, I'm just unconscious.
So basically, spider reaches down from the web, inserts its fangs into Max's body, and picks him up and starts to drink him.
Oh, oh
Ember.
man. Wish I had a straw, eh, Spider Bro?
You see your bodyguard Max getting lifted up by the spider, being sucked dry of his vital fluids.
I'm gonna need a couple seconds to go grab food. Be right back.
He's getting his pay docked for that. And I will raise my staff, point
Poor
it,
Max.
and firebolt.
The bolt goes wide and smashes into a table over here.
As I do that, I'm smudging my nails a little bit and go, and I miss.
Roll a 1d2. Alright. The firebolt thankfully fizzles out even after hitting the wooden table. Naps.
Mom on a vengeance.
Naps just went to get food
Uh,
because he is a
He's probably
terrible
gonna
person.
Stab and stab. Gotta get that Chinese food.
food is good. Alright. So you guys been having a good week?
Oh, it was a week. I'm glad
Sure
that it's
was.
getting to the end point.
I nearly wiped out my party yesterday.
What happened?
They got to the bottom of the death house.
Oh. Yeah, I lost two people. Actually, let me rephrase. I lost two PCs at the bottom of the death house. Last time I ran a game of Curse of Strahd. They were about the same character, the same player. The same player lost two different characters. He lost one character to the pit trap, and the next character he lost to the shambling mound. It's like that poor guy. It was a running joke that his characters kept dying. The bard even wrote a song about it. Because he was playing Brothers.
Your turn, Naps.
I failed at life.
The giant spider just seems to feel no pain even as it continues to drink from Max's corpse. Or near corpse. He's dying in the spider's jaws. Max.
Max's mom a paladin?
Death saving throw, please. No! Tickle Belly, do something!
Frostbite.
DC 14 Constitution. Ooh! That's enough for the spider to drop Max onto the ground. He just kind of flops there, kicking up a little dust, even as it lets out a huge, a screech as cold bites into its body. You see bits of frost falling on it.
Just to make myself look more like a threat, and perhaps not Max, I will come up here and put myself in death's way.
Alright. Well, that's enough to convince the spider that you are a threat. It immediately turns on you, Tickle Belly. Gnashes its jaws together and attempts to bite you and fails to do so, but now completely ignoring its meal on the floor. Ember! Max is now out of harm's way. He's still bleeding out.
Pew! Pew pew,
Firebolt.
ka-choo!
Hear it screech again as the frost on its body melts from the impact of the firebolt.
Started singing Katy Perry at it.
The stench of burning spider starts filling the room. Naps.
The
That
smells
eight
of a
people
home-cooked meal, eh?
If you
enter something.
jump on the you can. It's an old table. It seems to be empty, but you can jump on it in the same turn and be flanking.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was standable.
And I'll count it as flanking. Ooh, nice.
Pew, pew.
You go and stab it in its back as it's completely focused on Tickle Belly. Extra damage acquired from the sneak attack.
Sorry, Max.
Greenish blood oozes from the back of its body. Max, death saving throw, please. All right. You're still in bad shape, but you're not completely dying at the moment. Bearhild.
Oh wait,
What?
I'm a half orc.
You are.
Oh, you're at 1 HP. You did it.
Yeah,
I forgot about it. Just keep going.
I think
forgot
the
about it.
poison still would have been the second part of the attack. I think he was at what 3
No.
before that.
Well, he never rolled a save.
I never rolled it, but
Yeah, it's yeah.
if an attack puts me at 0, I think I still about 1 hit point.
Yeah, the piercing part would have put you at 0, and then that would have put
No,
you
the
back up
piercing
to
part
1.
would have.
What?
Killed me, not the bite.
Ah, okay. So it wouldn't. So it shouldn't have. Ah, well. Picked
It's
you up and
alright.
started drinking from you anyway. So Bear, it's on you.
I'm gonna move up into here, and I'm gonna turn my arm into a bear claw. Not the tasty treat, but a bear claw.
I forgot that was a tasty treat. I'm sorry.
And I take a swipe at it.
So you bring your new Blair Claw down, and you manage to gouge out some very vital organ from the spider. It falls loose from the web, spreading its gore everywhere. And you have now defeated another giant spider.
I go at.
Yeah.
Say, Matt.
The problem with the Max is you still have 1 death saving throw on your sheet at the moment. Can anyone heal Max, or do we have to throw another death saving throw on him?
I can't heal him this turn. I can stabilize him.
There's no turn. I mean, heal him, stabilize him, whatever you need to do to keep him from
Yeah, I'll
bleeding out.
stabilize him.
All right.
I'm pretty decent at these. There's like a 4%. Okay, there's like a 20% chance I fail this. Look, I failed it. There was like a 20% chance. We had it.
Naps, Ember, can either of you help?
Does he have
Yes.
open wounds? Can I cauterize them?
He's got spider venom running through his veins. And he's basically got 2 huge puncture holes right in his chest.
With my staff, will it help?
Don't think that would help. Naps, is there anything you can do?
I can tell him to get up or he's not getting paid. That's the best I got.
Ember, do you have any potions you can give him?
I am out.
Alright. Tickle Belly, do you have any healing spells at all?
Not that'll work in this scenario.
Hmm.
I can just try to stabilize him again.
I will assist with cauterization.
Alright. 1 more medicine try. And with this time at advantage because of assistance.
Double ones.
Technically, that means there's now a 10% chance of failure.
Don't say that.
We're doing it. We're winning the game. Look, not
Alright.
even close, baby.
He's unconscious, but you get the sense that, if he gets enough sleep, he'll be okay.
Yeah, I just I bust out the what do I have? I have the medicine, the herbalism kit,
Do
and I will
wake up from
start
sleep?
Okay.
and I will start treating his wounds so that he feels less like shit. And I'll ask somebody to check out the humanoid form in here.
I go up to light it on fire.
No.
Kidding.
Be careful, I will take you seriously. If you tell me you're lighting something on fire, I will believe you.
I never get to say that.
Naps will go check out the webby humanoid form of thing and stuff, wherever it may be.
A
Alright.
thing and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like over in this corner over here. It's laying on the floor.
Okay, he'll pull out a dagger and start slowly cutting it open.
Alright.
I assist by smacking it with my stick. I don't know.
Well, the smacking it with a stick really doesn't help, but cutting it open with a knife does. And you expose a desiccated body. It's hairless, and it really does look a bit like a human, which, I mean, pretty much your favorite reference is probably Max. So not quite that pallor of skin, like you're very pale, possibly because of the lack of blood in the body. But doesn't appear to have tusks. But it does appear to have small fangs, because the mouth is like, hanging slightly open, so you can kind of see them. Kind of like, one of your kind, like a cat. So it's very odd.
Yeah, those teeth don't seem weird to me.
I think you got cut off. You said that his teeth don't seem weird to you. The
naked mole rat that's
Yeah.
been desiccated. That seems a little weird, though.
That's true. So roll a medicine check to learn more.
Would you like to know more?
No, apparently not.
Yeah, you can't figure out anything else about this body. Just that it's kind of humanoid like Max, and it's got fangs, and that's about it. What you can tell from here. From
Was
just
it
looking at the
naked
face.
or was it enclosed?
It appears to be in some kind of clothes, like maybe
Start
some.
searching through that for any clues.
You search through it. Let's see. And you come up with.
Or fat loot.
And you come up with about two red crystal pieces, aka gold. Gold in this setting. And a single dagger that seems to have been stuck down below in the boot. Where it probably couldn't get at it once it was tied up in this web.
Poor guy. I will take all of that.
Should have gone with the wrist dagger instead.
Assassin's Creed style. That's a favorite.
Well, I will ask Naps, since for some reason I think that he's good at locating traps, and say,
Hey, can you make sure that those other two doors aren't going to open up? And we'll let Max here take a little nap. Oh, it's funny because
Two doors in here or just the one?
There's two. There's a small door over here, and then there's another door over here.
I will methodically go and check them for traps and see if they're locked.
Alright,
Well,
roll an
offer-
investigation check. What would you like to do, Ember?
I'm offering him light so to help him look.
Alright. Yeah, that door is already slightly open, and you could hear a little scritching sounds coming from the other side. It also doesn't smell very good. Like, you can almost sense old decay, maybe very old, what's the best word for it? Have any of you got any morgue experience? Or maybe funeral home experience? Okay, so I'm at a loss as to how to describe the smell
Like
properly.
downstairs.
Yeah, so there's just an old odor that makes you think immediately of death and preservation.
Basically formaldehyde.
Only a little bit, more like the scent of blood and internal juices, other than blood, that have a really ripe stench. I'm just trying to figure out the best way of describing them. Gastric juices. There we go.
Alright. That's funky. But he will
but
finish
very old,
closing that door.
it's, it's a stench that's soaked into surrounding stone after a long time, but hasn't been refreshed in a long while.
Gross.
Yeah, but he'll finish closing that door. So bad at things I should not be bad at.
Yeah, this door is closed up tight. You don't see any evidence of any weird traps or even evidence that anybody's been here in a while. I mean, even longer than the 100 years that's left that's been undisturbed by the Anubans.
Does the door seem locked?
No, it does not. Do you open the door?
Nope.
All right.
The door to the north seems to have sounds of little chitter and smell of old death. Door this way is not trapped as far as I can tell, but I do not hear anything from other side.
And make sure they don't come open while we're resting.
Can I look at the tools on the table?
Let's see. They're old. Since they've been inside, away from any possible sources of water, they wouldn't be rusted or anything like that. But they look kind of old and, disused. But most of them look like they were designed for, doing something with maybe linens. In fact, you see several scraps of linens here on the table.
Embalming tools.
Well, not exactly the embalming tools. More like the workshop that prepares the items that would then be used in the embalming process. Instead of the tools that have actually been used in embalming. It's like there's no flesh or anything like that hanging off of these. There's just bits of linen and other things.
From our side,
Yeah, just make some door stops.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
like Bearheld suggested, he would pull out some pythons and jam them under the door. And
roll a perception check.
This is
All right.
times.
As you're gazing around the room, you figure that you could probably move that table in to block this door right here and keep it closed.
yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
I would say normally I'd be like, oh no, don't want to make that noise, but we just made a lot of noise, so
Yeah.
it's fair.
Well, once the doors have been secured, I will, continue treating Max here. I'll call Spider Friend over, let him know that we're resting here. Keep an eye on the doorway. And, yeah, I guess. What time of day is it?
Let's see. It feels like it's afternoon, maybe early evening by this point.
Yeah, probably just getting early rest on tonight.
Do you
I'm
have
all right with
rations
that.
and such on you?
Yes.
All right. So
I've got
as long as you have that stuff, you have enough.
days of rations.
You have enough to keep yourself supplied in food. You have water skins. This is a desert setting, so I imagine you have water skins.
You have water skins.
I do.
And if you have the ability to purify water, there's also a possibility of getting the water from the well if you need to. But yeah, as long as you have water skins and rations, you should be okay camping here for the evening.
I can always boil whatever water we have.
And there's that too.
Actually, so I've got my last day's worth of good berries. So have a good berry, eat up.
That'll also help.
Thank you.
A whole day of sustenance in the palm of my hand.
Good stuff.
And then
Would
I
you like
took
to-
a nap.
Yeah. Is anybody going to keep watch?
I will keep watch at least. I'll probably take the first two. I'm still doing all right.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll take a watch.
Yeah, I'll take the last watch.
Are we doing long or short?
I assume you guys are doing a long rest.
Just camp overnight
Yep.
until Max's
Max
head
got
feels
hurt.
better.
Yeah. Max could use the rest. Or else his mom's gonna come and kill you.
Can I use my hit dice or no?
What?
Overdoing
You'll
it.
No, overnight you can do a full heal, and in fact that gets rid of Max's death saves, death fails as well.
Also, I'm still unconscious.
No, you're full.
Oh, I'm full.
Yeah.
What?
Long rest.
Alright.
Long
Dude.
rest.
So I do want to see what people's wisdom saving throws would be at this point.
Wisdom saving throws?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Alright. Everyone seems to be okay during the night. Naps probably had, like, one bad dream about bugs crawling in his ears, but other than that...
And as he's curled up, you see him swatting at his ears.
That's probably
Then
just
swatting at the
fleas.
air, and then he licks his hand, shoves it in his eye.
Stop being adorable, Brian. I don't want to have feelings for you.
Too late. Just too fucking late.
Alright. So it feels like morning, or at least like, maybe middle of the night chronologically, but you're all fully rested. Max, you're alive, you're awake, you've been re-healed after your harrowing...
Harrowing.
Thank you. I'm terrible with pronunciation. I'm very sorry. Harrowing encounter with the giant spider.
He's gonna get up and the first thing he'll say is, Mom's gonna kill me.
But there are rips in your clothing, of course. 2 big, huge puncture holes right in your chest.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely going to kill me.
Is your mother, by chance, a very large spider?
No.
Then I would not worry about your mother as much as the things around us.
Of course, there is a really big spider that belongs to Bear. And that spider would also get a chance to heal it up all the way, by the way.
Cool. Healing the spider.
Your friend back there, the big one with the legs and the clickies and the eyes.
Oh yeah, Webster.
Sure, Webster.
Wait, what do you mean? Why did he let you get attacked?
But we were all going to fight, and he just said, no, that's fine.
Oh, I see. Oh no, I told him to stay in the back and not risk getting hurt.
Just deadpans. Looks at Max.
I'm looking at the hole in my chest. Through its shirt.
Yeah, your chest basically has 2 scars kind of in the middle of your chest now that look like, puncture holes.
I just scritch Webster and I say,
Yeah, we wouldn't want to risk you getting hurt, eh, buddy?
So, what would you like to do now that you guys are awake? Rested from your previous night's adventure, and still have more of a temple to oversee.
well,
Yep, so go yonder and slowly peer through a crack and
Alright.
crack the door open and then peer. Rather. Oh god, hiccups are bad.
You see clearly down a hallway, and you can kind of make out little like, it looks like a lever of some kind instead of a proper door all the way down at the very end.
Is very strange hallway with a handle at the end. I hate you a little bit more right now.
I will send a globule of light down the hall for lighting up the way.
All right.
I wait for the cat to look at the door that has been opened for it.
He decides he doesn't want to go in the hallway and moves to the side.
I close the door so that you can start meowing immediately.
He opens the door back up and looks down at it again.
Okay, well, I'm going to go down this hallway since nobody else is. And
When I get down here, I want to inspect that there's nothing that's going to collapse on me when I pull this lever.
Investigation check, please.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba.
You don't see anything. The ceiling looks like it's just stone.
uh-huh. All right, and
I pull the lever.
Alright, that just kind of slides the door open. It lets out a creak and shows you a good view of the well room.
uh-huh.
I start to turn around, look over my shoulder real quick. Keep on walking.
All right, well, we got this to get out of my space ember. Oh, we got this door up here. Just kidding. We got this door up here still.
Yeah. Would you like to move the table out of the way?
Why would they have a secret entrance to that room? That was very old.
Roll
You
an...
know, I've been...
Oh, go ahead.
Nothing. I had nothing.
Roll an intelligence check. Probably the most likely reason that starts filtering through your mind is that they have the obvious hallway trapped. And that way people can move back and forth that belong in the temple to the well room, to this room, without having to reset the traps every time.
Ah, yeah, I was under the impression it got trapped after it got abandoned. But that makes sense.
They don't like visitors.
I will open death door.
Alright. Reveal area. You startle a couple of rats who peer up at you from what they're doing. One of them appears to be engaged in battle with a tiny scorpion over in one corner. There's a broken down table kind of in the middle of the room, made of stone, with what looks like what are they? Troughs down the other side of it, small ones, all stained red with red, most likely with blood. There's some smashed pottery on various sides, and the smell in this room is very old. The rat smell and their feces and all that, that's a newer smell. That's also filtering in. The rats start squeaking at you. They're rather large rats.
Yonder. So we can do the rats smarter than we did last time.
Yeah, let's. A half blockade through the door so they can only funnel in like one at a time.
Alright.
I switch places with Max.
Alright, you can do that before initiative, so go ahead. Initiative time.
Damn, me and Max got this today.
Oh, can you add Max to the initiative? Forgot to click my token.
Yeah, just click your token and say add turn, and then you can update it to whatever you rolled.
Okay.
Where is... Ah, there we go. It's because it didn't sort out properly. That's why I couldn't find it. And where's Scorpion? It's a tiny little scorpion, but it's still a scorpion.
The thing about scorpions is they don't need a lot of bulk to be effective.
Yep. They're still toxic. Alrighty then. Max, you're at the top of the initiative order. What would you like to do?
So Max is just trying to understand that he is not to go in that room. They were waiting for the rats to come to us instead. He'll just ready his action to smack the first thing that comes to the door, I guess.
Okay. Bear Hill, what do you do?
I will ready.
Testing. Okay, sorry. For a second there, I thought my thing had gone off. I think I lost your the voice thing.
I will ready an action to attack the first thing that attempts to attack my friends.
Okay. Giant rat. This giant rat runs over here and tries to attack the scorpion. Squeak, squeak, squeak!
Oh, it must
Tries
die.
to bunch down and crunch. It takes down the scorpion, chewing on it.
We failed, team. We did not save Sir Shimmerscales the Scorpionox.
The scorpion, sorry, this rat over there is just starts chewing on the other, like, basically one rat picked up the scorpion in its mouth and crunch. The other rat is attempting to, pull apart the scorpion that the other rat has in its mouth now, because it was facing it first. And they're just kind of like chewing on it back and forth. Naps, what do you do?
Naps will ready in action to stab a mouse that pokes its head through the mouse.
Ember, what do you do?
I shoot a mouse.
Be proactive.
Technically they're rats, but...
Be proactive.
Be aggressive.
Launch a
Be
firebolt into the room,
aggressive.
and it smacks into the wall just behind the giant rat. Giant rat squeaks in alarm as the bright light fills up its space behind it. This giant rat freaks out and runs down into this little hole, the next corridor down here, which you can sort of see some of. Because there's not really a door there. It's like, if there was a door, it's broken down some. So you can sort of see into the tunnel beyond. But it seems to be running that way. And hey, shuttle! Max. Yeah, so far none of the rats have come into your room. They were two of them were fighting over a small scorpion, and another one freaked out and is running into a further tunnel.
He's looking at the others like, can I go in now, or do you want me to just still?
You do what you want to do.
I'm gonna go in.
Yeah,
and...
you're your own person. You don't have to do what anybody else says, except your mom.
So I recklessly swing at this rat.
Yeah, the rat's looking a little bit freaked after the firebolt. Not fireball, sorry, firebolt. And it looks up. It looks up, but dropping the scorpion from its mouth just as your greatsword comes down and cleaves it in two. Max is back in shape. Bearhild, what do you do?
I see a rat fleeing. I have no interest in assailing the fleeing rat. What about this one? Is it
that one looks
looking
like
to
it's
run or
freaked
fight?
out. It's got half of a scorpion in its mouth. It just saw its buddy, cleaved in two by a half orc. It's unclear if that thing's gonna run or if it's gonna fight.
Now, with our mission, we were told to clear out the place of the spiders or of all the bad guys.
Primarily spiders, but basically that's what you were implied, but basically they're saying monsters of some kind. Which could be spiders, could be pretty much anything. Spiders are definitely monstrous. The giant spiders are definitely monstrous, even to you guys. However, giant rats, that's a maybe. They're not necessarily exterminators.
I just come up here and already a cantrip if anything tries to.
Alright. Giant rats, what do? Do you run or do you fight? Alright. Then rat screeches. It's now splattered with the blood of its companion. Drops the scorpion part it was chewing on and dashes down this hallway. Naps.
Naps will move in alongside Max to get a better look of where they're.
You're inside a room that smells like old death, or rather, old death preparation. From the look around, even though you're not very well trained, you can kind of get the impression that this is a room that was dedicated at one point to preparing the dead for burial or whatever burial rituals belong in this region. The table in the middle was most likely for preparing the deceased. It is mostly broken. There are various jars around that are also all broken. But you see two doors along here and here. And you see what appears to be the entrance to some kind of crypt down this way. And that's where the rats are headed. They're fleeing into the crypt space.
And that's its turn.
Alrighty. Ember, what would you like to do?
I'll get in there and I'll just kind of go pew. I pew.
The rat squeaks and dies on the spot. Its body just like limp there on the ground. Max, what do you do?
I was muted, sorry. He's gonna go follow the rats, I guess.
Alright.
15, 20, 25, 30. I goss swing this rat recklessly.
Alright. So you bring your blade down and immediately split this final rat in two. You're in a rather cool corridor. It's not exactly cold. I mean, there's still a nice, hot desert outside climate. But this corridor in particular is fairly cool in feel. Oops. Tokens. Where's my dynamic reveal areas? Rather cool in character. There's kind of, dust. You can kind of smell old decay. You see, a corridor heading off in two different directions up ahead of you. And you also see another corridor heading down here. This corridor over here is mostly not stone per se. It's partly stone, but it's not as finished as the rest of the complex you've been in so far. It looks like there's a lot of more dirt, and you can definitely see alcoves with old bodies laying inside. Like they're all skeletonized or lapped in mummified or skeletonized, depending, and wrapped in linens. But there's also this corridor over here. There's a couple of alcoves along the walls here and here. These ones are definitely full, of nicely wrapped mummies, with their arms crossed and everything. They look more astute down this hallway. There's also a much nicer looking floor along here. With some various intricate intricate cobblestones laying down there. And a strange design along this wall over here. It's half covered in old dust, though. It's really difficult to make out. It looks like some kind of mural.
Alright then. He's just looking for more rats at the moment.
Doesn't look like there's anything more. There's no more rats, so we'll take you off turn order.
Then he'll say, I think there's dead people in here now.
Do you see dead people?
Yeah, he'll point to the hallway with the mummies.
Maybe we should open those other doors first, just see what's inside.
I just want to stand here, get a better look. Yes.
You guys see my drawings? The little squares?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So what would you guys like to do? There are 2 doors in this room that you have not checked out, and there is a nice hallway over here with a couple alcoves on it, and there's a more dirt hallway leading up here with a bunch of alcoves, definitely skeleton, wrapped in linen. Naps, roll a perception check. Naps, as you stand there in that corridor, kind of like looking here and there, you can probably see down here at this point, you kind of start hearing this weird rattling noise. There's a very soft one coming from this direction, maybe around this, around the wall here, and there's another one coming from this darker corridor down this way. Like the sound of crunching, like a little bit of sound of rattling. Doesn't quite sound like rats, though.
There is a sound goes crack, 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 crack.
Should I go kill them?
I don't know. Burial here said that maybe doors below us first. Is not a bad idea. Maybe that way we have nothing coming up from behind. Yes. Is good logic.
I'll go down here. I'll check these doors for any sort of traps, and then I'll pop them open quietly just to see what's on the other side.
All right.
We'll try to assist.
Alright. So, which door would you like to start with? You don't see any traps whatsoever on any of these.
I'll start with the southern door.
Alright. You pop that open, and definitely dust assails your senses, but it looks fairly clean. There's bundles of fabric laying on what looks like used to be hooks. They're now kind of like slumped in the corner here. Oops, wrong tool. Like slumped along the corners here. And you see various benches with indefinite masks of Anubans. The big Anuban masks that you've seen around town. It looks like there's about 5 of them left intact, and several more that seem to be broken laying on the floor.
Okay, I don't see any threat, but I'll see.
Oh, we have to check this one again later, and
I'll come up here and open this door.
This room looks like it was once used as a quiet space. There's clear evidence of like tile work and all that. It smells pretty nice. It sounds like a bit of like old incense and maybe some oils. There's what looks like now, probably mouse and rat eaten probably fabricated benches at some point laying around the room. Some kind of maybe like a mini shrine inside of itself, or a room of peace of some kind. You probably don't know enough about the religion, even if you did a religion check, to know what it's for. Ember might. She would have an advantage on such check.
Okay. I will point it out to the others and then basically make my way back towards them.
I don't see anything coming up behind us from in there.
Nor do I. Ember, do you know anything about these There's rooms, what they would be. I know you are with the fate. Well, not this fate, but
And we'll look up from her nails and go, what am I doing?
we just want to know if you know what these rooms are.
Oh, and she'll go over and peek in.
Alright. You take a look at inside this one, and you can kind of get the idea that it's a room of reflection. Probably whoever was in charge of the temple would, like, sit in the middle, and there'd be acolytes and whatnot around them, and, the one in the middle would, like, give talks about, this and that. The other room, the one down here, is definitely some kind of dressing room, with the type of masks and robes that the people that, the Anubans wear to denote their alignment. I mean, in public, they're supposed to always be wearing those masks. I mean, pretty much the only time you see them without, or at least in current time, is, in their own homes. Is the only pretty much time that you don't see them with masks on.
Right. She'll kind of explain it, but in a far less enthusiastic manner.
Yeah, not your religion. You belong to, at least your mother does, belong to the faith of Ra, and even though they're part of it, that they're the underworld. They're not the nice, beautiful heavens that people are meant to strive for.
Hypothetically, were one to take one of these masks, would it fit in their backpack?
Yes, and
It
you'd be
will
able to
do
fit.
so.
You'd be able to fit your head in it too, so you could potentially wear it.
Perfect. Thank you. Does anything blow
What
up
are
when I
these
come
masks
in?
look like?
When you walk into that room, can you roll me a perception check, please?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah,
It's
pretty
fine
much
in
the only
here,
thing you
guys.
notice is the masks and the robes that are laying about.
And
Don't
what
really
do
see
these
anything
Anubis masks look like?
Jackal-headed.
Okay.
They look like Anubis. They look like the head of Anubis.
The jackal heads. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
And the cloth draped over, would that be like the robes?
Yeah, the bundles of cloth are various robes that one can wear. Most of them are eaten, being pulled apart as nesting material. Some even have like the bodies of old rats underneath, like skeletonized and whatnot. But you find a couple that are intact.
Take one of those as well.
All right.
Because you never know when you need to pretend to be an Anubian.
So I will move Spider Friend up here and myself up here.
I reiterate that there is some kind of rattle coming from both the northwestern and northern hall.
And my globules.
I was there pretty safely last time, so back there.
Yeah, and this denotes the section of where it goes from some nice, smoother stones with the designs in them to rough ground and some looser stone sorts. But definitely each of these walls contains like little burial nooks and whatnot. Neatly wrapped bodies. Naps, roll perception check again, please.
Nope.
Alright. So as you come around the corridor, you see that there's a figure standing there in the right nearby. They appear to be rotting. Their clothing is rotting. The entire body appears to be, skeletonized, and there's bits of cloth that's kind of wrapped around them. In one hand, they appear to have some kind of bone of some kind. Initiative time.
I go, yeah.
I go,
And
Ah!
skeleton. This just ain't normal. Like, mummies are one thing, but skeletons denote a necromancy that's completely banned here in Candalla. I mean, pretty much the only type of necromancy that's even mildly tolerated is the making of animated mummies, and that's meant to protect tombs. Alright. Bearhild, you don't see anything yet, but you did hear Naps let out a yelp.
I checked to see if I stepped on his tail. And
Oh,
not
right,
seeing
these little things are little globules, right?
Yeah, the
Sorry,
dancing
I wasn't noticing those things. So that means there's enough light passing through, which means that you would see the second skeleton that's over here from that position. Let me roll for that one real quick.
Ba-da-ba-da-da. I make my way forward, and he doesn't have a lot of flesh.
Right, it's pretty much just if there's any flesh at all, it's like little bits of connective tissue, sinew here and there that's attached to the bones still.
I will still try and do the first boot on him.
bruised food.
Yeah, you take
It
that.
seems to lock up slightly, but that probably won't stop it from using that sharpened bone, aka the equivalent of a short sword in damage. Flavor-wise, it's a sharpened bone, but on the sheet, I'm not going to bother changing that from a short sword because it's going to be the same damage and attacks. It looks like it's raising it just to attack Naps as soon as it can. Oops. Oh, and you would have to be about here, by the way, in order to hit it. Or did you move back? I'm sorry. Did you move back after?
But yeah, I'll move back.
Oh, sorry. I was
I
like
have to
looking at
protect
that and going,
Webster.
oh, yeah, whoops. There's a
Somebody has to save
wall
Webster.
in the way. Naps, what would you like to do?
Naps, not realizing the futility of using a rapier against bone, uses rapier against bone.
And you don't get any sneak attack on that.
Nope.
And yeah, you.
Then he will.
Skeleton was surprised you were using a rapier.
It apparently in I think that was back in 3.5 because in 5th edition it's not resistant to piercing attacks. It's just vulnerable to another kind of damage.
Mhm.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right.
It is
you
weird.
will-
5th edition had it. I mean, 3.5 had that right. I believe it was 3.5 when back then. So yeah, you basically cut through it, cut some of the remaining tendon, bits of flesh here and there. That seems to be weakening its integrity.
And then he will use a bonus action to disengage and move back.
All right. Ember, you don't see a skeleton, but you did hear it.
I will move over by Mac. See the skeleton.
No, you don't. You don't see it. Oh, you see the other one. Sorry, I was about to say you don't see this one because it's hidden by a wall. But,
Yeah, I know I don't see him.
and a bunch of bodies in the alcoves. But yeah, you do see this one over here.
And Pichu.
Catches the skeleton in the side of the face. He burns away some of the. He burns away some of the linen wrapping that's on it. Clearly, not everything in here was embalmed, but they were, put away and all that. So now the skeleton ambles all around the wall and still goes for naps, swinging down the sharpened bone that resembles a short sword. Ooh.
I would rather it not do that.
It actually winds up jabbing you right in your stomach. You can feel the sharpened bone just sink right into your
No,
flesh.
not your super soft, cuddly tummy.
He hates when you pet his tummy.
Get so angry.
If you ever want to pet a cat's stomach and it doesn't like it, you do it while they're standing.
They
Just
can't
little.
do anything.
Oh yeah, when they're laying down, once they're done with, if they like the pettings, they display their belly, and when they're done with pettings, they immediately grab your hand and start biting and kicking at it. But if they like being petted on the belly, you could actually rub them for a little for 10 seconds before they get into a mood where they say, no, I don't want to be petted anymore.
I had one that
Oh,
survived.
and speak of the devil, my cat's right here. Hello, Lyra.
Mark, swing at this hunter.
Hi, sweetie. Ooh, you swing the greatsword around and cut the skeleton in two. Its head just going splitting across the floor. The bones of the ribs are all like laying there, cut in half. Other bones, including the bone that's shaped like sharpened like a sword, just clattering to the floor.
Come over here and just get ready for the next one.
Max is a super soldier. And now it's the other skeleton's turn. The other skeleton ambles towards Max, raises its own sharpened bone that's being used like a sword, and goes to strike him.
He has a disadvantage from frostbite.
That would be the other one. And if that was
I
the
couldn't
case,
see the other one.
No, that was the one that was here.
No, you couldn't have shot that one.
You couldn't see it.
He moved to shot. I thought it was the one he shot. I'm sorry. That's the one that's the one who took the damage from Bearhild. So that means you only lose 4 hit points. You don't lose 7 max. There was a disadvantage. Anyway, this one is just striking you for 6. So. Bearhild!
I will move up and frostbite this thing. He will be dead soon.
Well, it's already dead.
No, he's undead.
Oh, yeah, and
It's gonna be
frostbite does
re-dead.
it. I'm wondering why it's not displaying everything that frostbite does if it also causes other status issues, because usually I know that by it showing me that it does that. The fact that it's not showing me made me not
I have the
realize that.
simplified card because the long one is long.
Yeah, you might for ones that have status things, you might want to put on long.
So I
if
think you can
possible.
only have, you can either have only damage or you can have the.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I'll look into it.
All right, Naps.
Hiya. Cover chow.
All right. So you come running around from the behind while it's focused on stabbing Max to death. Poor Max, he's been through a lot. And you immediately come over and just completely take the skeleton's head off and watch the rest of the body just fall apart, crumbling to the ground.
Gives Max a thumbs up.
Do you use the skeleton's hand to give him a thumbs up?
I do not.
I will.
Missed
move
opportunity
along.
there.
All right. So, what would you guys like to do?
That was not okay. What are those things?
angry skeletons. Something that was.
That pretty much sums it up.
Skeletons should not be angry. They should not be happy. They should not be standing.
No, but this was a temple of a darker god and abandoned. Those leftovers are intended to properly, then somebody gets mad, and then we have to deal with this.
I mean, I'm no theologian, but I would think that the god of death would want to make death not.
Well, this
not
place
this.
hasn't been tended in a long time. It might not be
Let me,
working at full strength.
Let me reiterate in terms of the cosmology in this particular game. Anubis is not a god, the god of death. Anubis is the god of judgment instead. The god of death, or rather goddess of death, is named Quer. She kind of oversees the overworld, the underworld, while Anubis gets the honor of judging the dead. And in practical terms, people of Anubis are the ones that bury the dead, and here in Candalla.
Death and the separation thereof.
Yes.
But I don't know. I do not know these things. It's just, this does not seem right.
Oh, it absolutely is not right. But we're supposed to clear this place out so that the dead or something. I don't know. This place is weird, and I
Did I mention I was stabbed with a bone?
I will raise a flaming hand. I can fix that.
Oh look, Max is walking. Let's go.
And I will continue to move globules as we move.
Are you guys fighting again?
What exactly do you have the power to move globules? Is that part of your genasi thing?
It's just dancing light.
Oh, it's dancing light. Okay. I was trying to figure out where that was coming from. By the way, Max, what's that shield thingy on your token?
Oh, sorry. It's because I'm always using reckless. So
Okay. No, I was just trying to remember what that was for here. And Max, also roll a perception check for me, please.
I'm good at those.
Yay.
Oh, no advantage, just 20.
Yeah. You're pretty sure you hear
Just
some more
20.
rattling coming from down here. There's also a curious sound from further on. There's something's dragging along the dirt floor in one of these passages.
So, it's another giant spider, or it's a big skeleton thing. One of the two, I think.
Huh, well, yes, we know where we're going.
Can't tell. Is that a wall above Mac?
Yeah, those are walls. Like the solid black lines are walls, and then there's of course like some things that almost look like lines along the floor that I put in. Alright. Naps, roll perception check.
Oh, did you say
Double
Naps
ones.
or Max?
Alright, yeah, Naps is currently completely out of it.
He got
Max,
stabbed with a bone.
you hear what almost sounds like hissing noise, but not exactly. It's more like the sound of escaping air and a bit of a thump coming from directly south.
So I think there's a giant snake behind this wall. That's what I think.
The hell
it's-
do you want?
Way to think about it.
The
Like,
more friends, the better. Yes.
I've never had a problem with too many friends, you know?
Do you want me to go
Alright.
see what it is
Someone
first?
go first before I reveal the area.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess I want you to go first.
Alright, Max, as you turn around the corridor with a light blazing, you see not only a skeleton, but a figure completely wrapped up in linen.
Zombie!
So
Nope.
I don't think it was a snake. It's more
With
skeleton.
with the light appearing in the corridor, the thing turns away from pounding on the skeleton, which it looks like it would seem to have been doing, and turns towards you, Max. It lifts its arms up, and you hear a raspy voice speaking in Abyssal. Anyone speak Abyssal?
I do.
Nope.
No.
Max does.
So, also, Max, roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh. I'm just kidding, I actually don't.
Why would you know? Oh, that's right, Elvish, to speak with the Dark Elves. Okay. Yeah. Max, you are currently frightened by the thing you're looking at.
Oh. That's not good.
That. It stares at you, it lifts it in hand, and it's speaking something in Abyssal. So nobody here speaks Abyssal. Okay.
Max does?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the one person putting out languages, and I saw Elvish, Common, and Draconic. I'm not used to your voices yet, so please forgive me.
It's okay.
So, Max, yes, you're hearing the words "intruders must destroy intruders." This is coming out in Abyssal.
Max will just be like, I don't think they want us here. You know, maybe it's not too late to turn around and leave. Just a little.
And you can see that the skeleton has a few hits from, looks like a fist attack. It's got bits of linen from the mummy clinging to it.
Well, it's not really a job done yet, you know? Maybe go talk to him, see if you can turn this into a great and eventful for.
So what would you guys like to do?
Max wants to fight, but I can't move any closer.
Yeah, Max is currently suffering the fear condition.
Emperor will let out a long breath and walk forward.
Perhaps moves over to there to get a sight of what the hell scared the hell out of me. That is more dead. More dead.
Ember, since you might know this by your character, roll a religion check, please. With advantage. Okay.
Yay.
So, you come around the corner, see the mummy, and realize you should have been expecting this. Mummies, animated mummies are used to guard places like this to begin with. So, this mummy is supposed to be there, unlike the skeleton. However, you are intruders to this area, and the mummy would be set up to attack you.
Alright, I'll explain this going. Well, the mummy is to be expected, but we are trespassing and it will attack us. But luckily, mummies are also flammable. And I step forward and I do Burning Hand.
Alright. Well, first we are going to roll for initiative, then, if you're planning on attacking the mummy.
Oh no, my initiative has come full circle. I'm back at bad. Now we fade weakly into the night. Nevermore.
So you said you're attacking the mummy?
Mm-hmm.
What's your attack roll, then?
It's up there. They need to do a dex save.
Let's see. And it's 15-foot cone, okay. So that means it would also affect the skeleton.
Mhm.
Alright. Oh, skeleton loses 5 hit points. Looking pretty rough. Ooh, yes, and it's vulnerable to fire. Interesting. Ooh. So that's double that damage. Max, you hear the mummy say something about blasphemer must be destroyed. Max, what do you do?
Frightened means I can't move any closer, right?
Correct. Until its next turn, which is right after you.
Well, I guess he'll just stand there wanting to go in, but he's like, yeah, I'll just pass my turn, I guess.
Alright. So, Ember, roll a wisdom saving throw for Dreadful Glare. Alright, you succeed on that.
I lit it on fire. I am not scared of it.
Alright. It moves past the skeleton, which doesn't seem to notice that it left its threat range, and immediately attacks Ember with Rotting Fist. And
Nah.
misses! Ember.
Well, I guess I'll light it on fire again.
Would you like some more fire with your fire?
Pretty much.
Yo, dog, I heard you like fire.
So I set you on fire while you were burning so that you could scream while you scream.
Yeah. The stench of rotting, mummified flesh comes up from the burning, the linen wrapped creature before you. Just kind of filling the air. Skeleton stumbles forward and attempts to stab Ember with a rotting bone.
Ow.
James are right in the stomach with the sharpened bone.
A little bit rude, not gonna lie.
Naps!
Yeah. Mummy dearest. Krishnik.
Alright. Your rapier does not appear to do that much damage to it whatsoever. Just kind of like slices a bit at the linens, and a few of the linens just kind of float down, but it doesn't seem to really be hurting it.
What the fuck are you?
Slap him upside the head or something, I don't know.
Beard.
Oh man. I'm just gonna step up here. And I think I'm gonna cast a good old fairy fire on him.
It's not rolling. Let's try this again.
Yeah, sometimes the spell sheet likes to mess up. What's the DC on that? What's the DC?
14.
Okay. Yeah, it's all lit up with fairy fire. Everybody gets advantage on it. Max!
Okay,
What about
son.
the skeletons?
What?
What
Oh.
about the skeletons?
Forgot about that. Sorry about that. That one actually succeeds.
Oh.
It didn't matter. Max!
I'm not a friend anymore, right?
Correct. It
Right.
dropped off as it tried to make Ember frightened, but she resisted it.
Okay, I'm gonna get the attention on me, not Ember, so he's going to attack the mummy.
And
with
you get
the-
advantage, thanks to fairy fire. So let's see what you can do, Max.
I'm gonna rage. And then slap him.
Alright. It still doesn't seem to do too much damage to it. The fire seems to be very effective, however, weapons don't seem to be all that effective at all.
I got nothing else.
Mummy. The mummy continues its assault on Ember. She is, after all, the biggest threat to it, considering she's made of fire. Once again, it uses dreadful glare on her. Suddenly, Ember is terrified of it and can't. It is now suffering from the frightened condition as it plunges forward with a rotting fist attack. Ooh.
Ow.
At least he saved on that. But he still end up losing
Not that it
21 hit
matters.
points. Yeah, so he slumped down to the ground in front of it.
Are you unconscious?
Yes.
Yep, unconscious. And
Stop being unconscious.
unconscious and currently losing your health fast. Skeleton goes for Max, since Max is now a threat. Tries to stab him with a sharpened bone.
That misses him.
Oh, that's right, he's raging. That means extra AC, isn't it?
The 14 doesn't hit Max.
Hold on, I'm looking at something else on Max. Oh, yeah, Max is 15, yeah. For some reason I was looking at the 13, that's passive perception. But, Naps! You saw Ember slump to the ground in front of you from one hit
I'll go
from that mummy.
stand on Emperor.
Your feet are warm.
I like warm.
Does-
It's fine.
Those
Does
smell
her
like
fire
cat
go
feet.
out when she goes unconscious like a Charmander?
Oh.
Aww. Yeah, cute little Charmander.
Yeah, except that means they're dead.
Yeah, it's not currently available to be sneak attacked. It's only stricken with that rapier.
Why?
Because there's nothing currently threatening it.
Max?
No, I mean is that the thing that it was battled was directly in front of it. You now stepped into that position, which means it's focused on you. And Max is probably partly distracted by the skeleton hitting him, or attempting to hit him. So the mummy is not distracted by Max at the moment. It's distracted. It's looking straight at you.
Yeah, but I thought sneak attack was if you have another enemy within 5 feet of, or a friend within 5 feet of the target.
Hold on. Let me reread what sneak attack does. Because I was always treating it as as long as you're not the one directly fighting it, like if it attacked somebody else last, but because that's or else it's not actually sneaking up on it because it's not being seen.
The name isn't literal.
Ah, yeah. See,
I
that's
mean,
I always take that sort of thing.
Distracted attack.
Yeah, if you said distracted attack, then I could accept that better. When I'm hearing sneak attack, I'm thinking I'm going with the classical meaning of it doesn't know you're there or isn't noticing you in order to do that extra damage. Okay.
if that's your house rule, that's fine. I just
No, I'll,
it does not allow-
I'll allow it for this time. We'll re-examine it for next for future. But yeah, that might be better if it's like if we thought of it as a thing attack. But yeah, I'm thinking more of in this case, the mummy. What the mummy is fighting is the most important part in terms of instead of like what's hitting the mummy, because it's focused on you. Well, it was focused on somebody else, so it's like I kind of. I guess in this case, yeah, you can go either way, and I guess I'll agree with you guys on this case. But let me reiterate. If it last struck you and it was still focused on attacking you, then it would definitely not be. You would not be able to sneak attack if it last hit you. Does that make sense to you? Because it's not really distracted; it's looking at you. It's focused on. It would be focused on you. In this case, it's not because it just took down Amber. Ember. Ugh. Brain. 11. Reduce damage. Yeah. Oops. That was yep. Sorry, wrong one. Ah. My bad. Alright, I was hitting the wrong sorry about that. I was looking at the wrong token. Bear-held.
Okay, so everyone remembers they have advantage on the mummy, by the way. Okay, thanks, bye. I will frostbite the mummy
Oh, I
as
see. It
a
must be a finesse weapon. Okay, that's what
country.
Yeah, I'll study sneak attack more. I like I said, I was always thinking about it in certain terms. Go ahead. Which one are you attacking? I'm sorry.
The mummy.
All right.
As a bonus section, I will cast a healing word on
Ooh, it failed that.
the flaming monstrosity. It
He's
looks like
currently-
it's
Me.
that's a good healing word too. Like that healing word did not fuck around.
Well, actually, you're still there, Ember. You and Naps are still not currently sharing a spot.
Yeah, you wake up to taint. Get over it.
Yeah, you kind of woke up to yeah. So you
Right,
regained 7 hit points.
And I will back over here.
Good move.
Max.
So 2/3 of my spell casting.
Which one? Max?
I say I attack the mummy.
Okay, cool. Sorry, if you were talking, my thing must have kept dropping out of me, so I didn't hear anything. You take off more of the linen wrappings, and this time manage to shave off a few of its fingers. It's looking like it's about to ready to come apart. Mummy. This time, it's focused its attention back onto Max. First, dreadful glare on Max. Alright. Then it tries to smack you with its rotting fist. And misses.
Disadvantage doesn't matter.
Ember. You're currently, you would technically be at a disadvantage for being squeezed next to Naps. However, it comes out even because the mummy has fairy fire. If you wish to attack it.
I'm going to disengage and back up.
All right then. Let's see, skeleton.
Skeleton.
Skeleton tries to stab Naps with its short sword-like bone, and misses. Naps, what do you do?
Naps still going to try to wail on Skellington, even though it does not hit him so much.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You kind of like push out your rapier. The blade goes right through one of the eye sockets. You pull your rapier back, and you bring the entire skull with you. And the body just kind of falls apart. And you've now got a handy trophy.
Yay, trophy.
Bearhild.
Make my way up here. I assess the situation. I decide the mummy is too dangerous to be allowed to hit things. I frostbite it. I return to the shadows.
To the Shadow Realm!
Yeah, and as you do that, the cold just kind of creeps up around the mummy, and it seems to lock itself in place. And then, as you kind of back up, the entire thing just kind of falls apart. Sand falls out, bits of desiccated flesh, and the mummy just collapses at your feet. Destroyed. Congratulations, guys, you took down a mummy. Aw.
Carry there for a moment.
Aw, no cheering?
Naps is still trying to get a grasp of all of this.
Ember will cough a little bit and go, "Thank you for
Do you want to ride on my back again?
Oh. That sounds like a wonderful time, but I don't think you were talking to me, were you?
No, I was asking Ember. She doesn't
They're-
look like she
yeah,
could
like-
walk.
Like, interested, though, are you, like, for piggyback ride?
Do you need a piggyback ride?
I mean, I don't need a piggyback ride, but I mean, like, if you're giving out piggyback rides,
Oh,
I'm not going to say no. I think she's fine.
I have nothing to offer. I pat you on the shoulder. You're fine.
Naps are
So,
gonna peek around this corner. Just make sure there's nothing else fucking ready to eat them all.
yeah.
I'll be fine, Max. You need to beat the.
So far, it looks pretty clear. You just see bodies in alcoves. They haven't gotten up to attack you or anything like that. Hi, Lyra.
I can trust bodies, but I can't trust alcoves. Not after the last time.
Acolyte, do you need to sit down for a while?
Maybe we should take, like, a little time to patch up those wounds of yours, though.
You got knocked out. Is not something feels good.
Yeah, it's true.
It did hurt.
You got
you're
punched
hired
with
by
death
me.
itself, it looked like.
I thought I could do a little bit more damage than I thought, and it turns out no.
Sit in the corner. Relax for a moment. I want to go over these things anyway. And he's going to use his rapier and start poking around at both the mummy and the skeleton, trying to figure out what makes him.
Trying to figure out how undeath works.
There's no way in hell he'll figure it out, but he's still poking at it with a sharp, pointy stick.
That seems a good way of learning things. Poke it with a big sharp stick. You don't seem to learn anything new this time, though.
And is there anything significant in this room?
You're not really in a room. You're in a winding burial passage with, like, There are bodies and things. The floor is currently kind of dirt with bits of stone flecked in. It kind of smells like old rot. Nothing fresh. More like, old and the occasional, dead rat here or there.
I'll do a survey, make sure that we didn't miss anything, and then come back up to the group.
I found a word cat tummy, huh? Cat tummy. So, what are you going to say to them?
I just tell them I didn't see anything.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought my mic had cut off on me again. Or rather, my headset.
Well,
Yeah,
let's take an hour, patch up these hurts. Put some healing on the ouchies, and then let's get back to it.
And I scritch Webster.
Spider seems to be enjoying the oddity of being scritched. What about the rest of you? What are you guys gonna do sitting here in this, or standing around in this burial corridor?
He's gonna sit down and mumble stuff about how this sect has always been really fucking weird.
Max just stand. Watch, I guess. Until everyone wants to walk or something.
And Naps will be like trying to like feed Ember and give her his water skin, seeing his meal ticket go down isn't. Can't allow that.
Friendship. Obligated friendship.
So, roll me perception checks, guys. Max.
I'm on high alert.
You hear like bits of echoes. Oops, wrong thing. Bits of echoes of little screeching sounds, and you can swear it's the sound of wind coming around the corridor, faintly echoing down these passages, coming from this, just echoing down. So it's really difficult to tell where it's coming from, other than it's coming from some place that intersects with this corridor down here.
Do anybody else hear that?
Hear what?
I think there's a tunnel nearby. It sounds like a tunnel.
Where at?
He'll tell him where he'll be right. He wants to follow the sound of the wind that he's hearing.
The name of the wind. By Patrick Rothfuss.
Yeah, it seems to be coming from the northern passage that he sort of spies this way. And there's still also a bit of a flapping noise. And slight squeaking. Doesn't quite sound like a rat, though.
Max will say hello.
Flapping seems to intensify. You also get a smell of more recent rot coming from this direction. Along with that breeze.
Get my little dragon sword beam.
Alright.
Another skeleton or something.
So, as you get up to the corner where you actually see what looks like a pile of rocks that looks like the wall broke in at some point, you notice two flying things. They immediately aim for you.
Oh. This is where I die.
Tried so hard and got so far.
Oh, sorry. Should not sing that. I'm putting this on YouTube later. They get upset when you start singing. Yeah. So the quick things before, even as you see these, you see that there's some kind of I said a break in the wall, though it's too small now for anything anything your size to get through. You also notice part of a decaying rat person body laying on the floor. Looks like the sturges had been these winged creatures here had been feeding on it at some point, and they're now aiming right for you. First one flies over, tries to blood drain you.
I slap it away like a mosquito.
Next one flies over, tries to do the same.
That's just rude.
Damn.
That one attaches itself to you and takes out 5 hit points. Suck, suck, suck. Its body starts bloating up with your blood. Your turn.
It's a giant mosquito.
Kind of a giant mosquito mixed with a bat.
One sec.
You can use your action to detach the sturge from your body.
He's gonna recklessly swing at the one that's not attached to him.
Sounds good.
Sorry, no rage. Just
That's okay.
10.
These things have almost no hit points.
Oh
You just
shit.
basically swing through the air and slash that one in half. Whereas this one continues to drain blood from you. Which means it
He
gets
tells it to
advantage.
stop
Another
it.
6. Yeah. Takes out another 6 of your hit points.
Stop it.
Bloating
Get
up
outta
with
here.
blood. Max, what do you do?
The straw and take your blood back.
Can I attack it on me or no? Is that not possible?
You can detach it from you.
I guess I'll detach it.
Doesn't it automatically detach because it took more than 10 hit points?
That's true, actually. It would be detached, so you can easily move away from it now.
Oh,
It's already drained 6 hit points from you. I mean, 10 hit points from you. It's 12 hit points from you altogether.
I fucking slap it.
Yeah. And your own blood, it just comes gushing back out of it, splashing all over you in the process. But now both sturges are dead, leaving behind only the scent of your blood and the smell of the decaying rat person on the ground there by the, probably a hole in here.
There's a rat person, you said?
Yep, a dead rat person laying there on the ground, partly covered by the rocks, but it looks like they may have tunneled their way in here at some point and died.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, it's a passageway. Oh,
Okay, if there's nothing else, he's gonna walk back, I guess.
He's clearly been injured again. The rest of your buddies can tell that.
There were giant mosquitoes.
What?
Okay,
Bearhill.
well,
Bearhill, roll a nature check for me.
Giant mosquitoes.
Yeah, even you don't know what those are.
maybe you just sit tight and here, I'll help patch you up. And if anyone tries to go down that hallway, you web them up. I'm pulling my card here, guys. You're gonna sit in that corner, and you're not gonna do anything except feel better.
I kill naps.
Is Naps AFK?
No. Naps just moved. That's why he said he was going to kill me.
Ah, okay. I thought he was just being random because you guys are long connected.
Did we finish a short rest while Max was off battling?
Yes, you guys would have would have been given the equivalent of a short rest as Max was off exploring by himself.
Ruby.
He's not very smart.
Yeah, but now we have to
Never
wait and catch
split
the
the
map
party.
back up.
It's just a couple of sturges. What could go wrong?
Well, Max is not a clever man.
He's trying his best.
Max
He's
is
a
brave.
he's a good guy.
Yes.
He takes care of his mommy.
Yep, and he takes care of Ember, too.
I'll stand up and get control of my globules.
So what are you up to, Bear?
I'm making sure that nobody leaves this hallway again until another hour has passed.
At which point even
So-
Max will have gotten a short rest.
That's the goal. But yeah, like once Max has had time to heal, and hopefully Ember has had time to heal, then we can get back to adventuring.
Adventure.
Adventuring.
Like, Brian, do you think that I won't hurt you in real life?
I think you absolutely would if you knew where I was.
Hey Max, are you gonna heal up with a hit die?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Woo! Congrats.
That's good hit dying right there.
Yes, it
You
is.
did it. You're the best. Yippee!
So, what would you guys like to do now?
All right, and now we can go to. Yes, I will. Oh, fuck it, I'll buy Brian's address. Now let's go to. Is there anything else up there, Max?
There was a dead giant rat thing.
Oh, that's worth an investigation. That's worth at least 2 pokes from a stick or a rapier. What about over here?
You just see another corridor, much like the ones you've been. There's, like, bodies and alcoves again. But back towards the edge of this corridor, you see, like, rubble and debris, a couple of bodies that laying skew on the ground. And there's a fresh corpse, and the stench of much more recent decay is settling your nose. And you can see a rat person. Their body, partly chewed up, fresh decay. They've clearly been here, like, maybe a couple weeks. So it's, quite fresh. And, like, it's partly mummified, partly eaten, just because of the conditions in here. And there is rubble and a slight hole over here in the wall. It's clearly much too small for any of you to make it through. But it's, like, good size for, like, giant rats
I
to
shove
slip
a
through
globule
and other
into
stuff.
it.
And you just see kind of, like, some tunnel systems. Again, more rat, or maybe even rat person sized, but a bit too small and narrow for you guys.
Nap starts rolling bodies.
Yeah, the ancient bodies around here don't seem to have much interesting on them. It looks like they were, processed here in this temple and laid to rest.
If we don't find anything there, let's. We haven't found any sources of how these things got in here yet.
the undead.
Oh yeah, well the undead or like even how these spider friends got in here.
Do you still speak with animals?
Yeah, it's always on. I just do it because I'm a Furbolg shepherd.
Okay. So the giant when you first talk to the giant spider about this, the giant spider kind of gestures towards the hole and the debris that's around it, and says, "You can kind of get the impression that this hole was once bigger, at some point, and maybe the spiders that came through were smaller at the time, small enough to fit through, and some of them reproduced down here in these catacombs." But where the undead, other than the mummy, came from, the spider has no clue.
I
The spider
put my
does
hand.
make a reference that the mummy has pretty much was always there and just
Yeah,
avoided.
and I get that the mummy is basically part of the intent here. So we still need to find why are the spooky McSpooksters here? Like why are the skeletons?
I point my staff into the hole and I firebolt down it.
And you can hear your firebolt just bouncing against the rock wall. Not the rock, what dirt walls down there. Doesn't seem to be causing any other effect.
But it goes really far.
You can hear it bouncing, and you kind of lose sight of it. So yeah, it seems to be a twisty, turny passage that somebody must have tunneled in here at some point. Probably to do what Naps is doing. Rob the graves.
He's just seeing if there's anything prevalent and visible.
He's not robbing the graves. He hasn't found anything valuable yet. Once he finds something valuable, then he'll rob the graves. Um. Well,
Naps, roll an intelligence.
point in time.
Naps, roll an intelligence check. Yeah, you got nothing.
Got nothing.
All these
Now
bodies in these alcoves look about the same. Some of them look higher quality in terms of they're mummified. They still got skin attached. Others are just skeletons wrapped in linens, kind of like the skeletons that you guys defeated. But these ones aren't moving.
You were going to say something, Tony?
No, I'm good.
He's going to go to Richie Rich area. We go to Beverly Hills Crypt.
I'll follow with globules.
But
Yeah.
before he
this is
goes
definitely a
down,
much nicer little hallway down here.
he is going to check for traps before he moves in.
All right, roll me an investigation check. So, as you look around and looking at all the fine bodies, you notice something suspicious about the floor right about here. You see, the tiled floor has, some little designs here and there. And just the way this design work goes, you have this feeling that if you were to go and step wrong on this floor, which is most likely since you don't know what sort of pattern this makes, that a trap would open up and most likely drop you into something. Because it looks like it's some kind of weighted panel. It's there's basically looks like two hinged panels coming along the sides that if you stepped wrong on it would cause it to open.
Yeah,
And most
he
likely
will
something bad under there.
get put the bearings on there so he can mark it out for everyone else.
Alright.
Do not step here.
Yeah, so it's 10 feet relative to the corridor and then 5 feet across.
But other than that, he is going to do anything on Rich.
Alright, roll a 1d100.
love how everyone's like, this guy is totally stealing from the dead, but nobody has bothered to stop him.
I mean, I haven't seen him take anything yet, so
And you're currently not. You're not in any position to see him. Ember is, on the other hand. You do find some kind of jade, jade stone bracelet on one of the corpses that you are studying.
He will. Let's see. The only person who possibly see him is Ember. He doesn't think she'd care, so he's just.
Naps.
Is what it is.
You just stepped in the trap area.
I thought you said it was just that one.
No. I said it's 10 feet, which means up and down the corridor.
I thought you meant it was 10 feet down the corridor and 5 feet wide.
Oh, sorry. I have it mapped on the GM layer overlay, so it looks more obvious to me. Sorry. I'll since you said you were marking it off. Yeah, there we go. So you would have marked off that area, knowing that it's basically a hinged panel, and you don't know which areas on it are exactly safe and which aren't. But you know that it would open up and spill you down, and you have no idea what's underneath of it. It could be this the pit. It could be, long dead snakes and scorpions. It could be acid. It could be an ooze. It could be spikes. It could be anything under there.
I say we trigger the trap safely and see what's underneath.
So it's a 5-foot thing. You just jump that.
Yeah, but I'm saying we trigger the trap to see what's down there.
Oh, okay. So, Max, can you come here with your sword for a moment? Be very careful.
You can use
just right up to where I am. Oh, okay, that's fine too.
Yeah, most likely a staff would be better surface area than a sword.
Yeah, you just knew a rapier wasn't gonna cut it.
Yeah, because then it would trigger just when anything fell on whatever panel would trigger it.
Help me try to push this down, like at the edge. See if it falls in this way. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's pretty much going to center it and like put some weight on it, see if it drops.
So you spend a couple of minutes working on it, like tapping various places in it with your thing and putting weight on it. Eventually, you hit the right thing, a place in the middle of the basically the middle of the paneling, where your feet naturally go. Like there's various places this would also work. It snaps open. And you look down, and it's a 10-foot drop onto some rather nasty-looking spikes.
All right. Well, that did not help us.
Did anybody see other doors or passageways we did not explore?
We can do another loop through,
and that's what I'll do. I'll basically go through. Specifically, can I see if there's any tracks from the skeletons? Maybe something
survival check, please.
Came from, or.
And Naps will also do another loop. This time, not looting, but looking for hidden doors or.
All right.
Essentially what Ember's doing.
Beryl, as you look at these things, you see your own tracks, and you see, some of the skeleton tracks. And it looks like they were just kind of wandering back and forth along the corridors.
Well, we might have cleared everything out. Yes.
Jump complete.
Suppose so.
We have one more thing we have to figure out as group. What do we tell Max's mother that he was out all night?
What?
Wait, yeah, you
I'll
didn't.
just, I mean, I'll just tell her what happened. It's not like I can hide anything from her.
That's a good way to live your life. Pretend that you can't hide anything from your mom. Keeps you an honest person. I like that.
But
Just the last thing before we leave. I want to cast detect magic as a ritual
Okay.
and just do one last sweep through here. Make sure we didn't miss nothing.
How far distant can you see with detect magic?
I can see 30 feet.
All right.
Doesn't go through stone, but
Okay, so you'd see anything in front of you. Got it. Yeah. So it doesn't go through stone. Okay. So you'd only be able to see things in visual range. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Looking
it
through
goes
everything that you
through.
can possibly see, and you do not see anything magical
Yeah,
on
only goes
anything
through
that
about
you walk by. If there is anything magical, it is behind stone, possibly in any secret room that you have not discovered.
All right. Well, I think that's it. We get ready to go.
Anyone have any objections to that? Anything else you wish to go in and look at, investigate further?
Like Ember and I said, we were gonna go searching for uh, anything that looked like it could be another hidden door because we already found.
Well, you don't find any right where you're standing, so
We do a loop.
I
To the
still
halls and
need to
stuff.
be able to see where you guys go in order to tell you if you do or not, or if there's any other traps you haven't found yet.
Oh,
So
here
you
to
can't
start.
just say I'm going to go search everywhere for it. That doesn't work. And you also need to roll investigation
Like
checks. So far, nothing. What's everyone else doing while those two are trying to look around?
I mean, I guess I will assist them. Try to cordon off a section of this place. Look for secret doors. But I think Bearheld thinks that we've found pretty much everything. We've been pretty thorough.
Alright. So roll investigation if you're doing that too. Anybody who's searching out those things, roll investigation check. I'm trying to keep you all in visual range. Ember, you just walked off the map. There you go. Ember, you'd already rolled the investigation check.
Alright, I wasn't sure if you still wanted more while I'm.
No,
Explore.
only one since you already stated you're exploring everything. So Max is the only one who hasn't.
are you on Master Roll too?
If Max is searching, Max needs to roll. If Max is not searching, it doesn't matter.
Nah, he's just watching Ember, making sure she doesn't get attacked by flying mosquitoes.
It has happened before. It's not that unrealistic.
Yeah, you guys left that secret door open, so yeah, you're just gonna walk right through there and not have to go all the way around.
and we'd pretty much get back with everyone and be like, I think we're
I'll just put the marker down, showing that that's where the rock fall is in the hole.
There, I did a whole loop.
Roll an intelligence check. And there's the other trap that failed to go off because it was old and the mechanism broke. All right, no further information forthcoming from the GM.
Then we go back to town.
Yeah, so you guys can go back to town. I gotta go find a new home for Spider Friend. Uh, yeah, pretty much just that.
Alright, we will meet you back there, and I will introduce you to the people that you'll be able to speak to about the history. I will check the inn every morning, and when you get back, I will bring you. I don't know how long it takes to find the spider.
Don't forget to give the bits to the weird lady at the apothecary.
Yeah.
That's right. You did harvest at least one of the bodies.
Oh yeah, I guess we should harvest the rest of them too, shouldn't we? Yeah. What were there?
Yeah, there's one other body you hadn't harvested from.
Yeah, just one. So, survival.
Yep, survival check. Yeah, you go in and you discover that some smaller rats were already at the body and kind of ruined it by the time that you got back there during all the time of investigating, sleeping, all of that. The body had pretty much given up everything that you would
I
find
yell at the
useful.
rats. I say, you guys didn't even eat the best parts. And I
the
grab
small
like a
rats
piece
kind of
to
scramble and hide and
munch on.
so yeah, nothing that the apothecary would be interested in is left in that one spider corpse.
Yeah.
So you guys are completely done here in the dungeon? Or at this temple, rather?
For the moment, yeah.
Alrighty then. I will bring you back to maps. Just 1 second. OCD. OCD. Oops. There you go. And you guys make yourselves back to town. It appears to be midday once more. Seems like you were gone a whole day.
No. I will go out into the wilderness and see if I can find an appropriate home for Spider Bro. Preferably like a small little like half formed cavern that he can have shade from the sun, and then when other creatures come.
Alright. So, you eventually do find a cavern after a couple of hours, and the spider seems to thank you and goes off on to live the rest of its life productively, as you are now free to head back to Candalla, Candalla Prime.
I do so.
What are the rest of you guys doing as while Bear's out searching?
Asking
Unless, unless anybody says anything to Ember about needing her to do anything, she's just gonna go home.
Maps and naps? Sorry, Max and naps?
we'll walk Ember to the stairway and just go on home, I guess.
Neps will, after dropping off Ember, with Max split off and head towards the Anubian temple.
Excellent. So you have returned. What news of our old temple?
This is clear of any major threat. Unfortunately, the mummy was destroyed during our investigation. We did find, however, there was other corpses within your halls.
Undeath magic outside of the sanctioned. How unfortunate. We will need to investigate it once we return to our temple.
What would cause such things?
Again, we will have to investigate that. I do not know from sitting here what it might be. There's various possibilities. But the higher members of our order might be able to parse it out. As soon as we send a runner to confirm, later today you should have your payment.
Very well, I will return, hopefully with my friend who you have promised information.
Alright then.
Thank you. And I'll head out.
So Ember, I take it your character just went home? Max, what about you? You just went home?
Yeah, Max will just head on home because I think the job's done for the day, so.
Yeah, you haven't been paid for it yet, but the job has been completed. Naps.
Well, he figured they have something important to do. He's not really gonna push it, so.
Yeah, especially after you worried your poor mother.
Oh, he'll tell his mom, just be like, oh, yeah, I got beat up by a bunch of giant spiders and some big mosquitoes. That's all he'll say.
And all the holes in your clothing! Poor Max. So, I guess the next scene comes when Bear returns at this point. It's all in Bear's hands.
Bear will go to the apothecary and try to sell 2 spider parts, 2 spiders worth of parts. The parts to construct 2 spiders.
And since it's evening, she's opened up and all that, even though it's in the under section, which is always pretty much always dark, except for street lights. It's like, yeah, you have brought me some interesting offerings now, haven't you?
Oh yeah, well, we find ourselves in some pretty questionable places where these type of things can really have room to grow.
I can see that. These are from giant spiders. Very nice, very nice. How much did we agree on? She asks, going to her to grab some of her money.
How much did we what?
She's prompting you to give her a price of how much you were willing to accept for these.
Don't know. I mean, I'm an herbalist. What do I think a fair trade would be for him?
Let's see. From that, you seem to recall her mentioning several silvers for each piece. So this would be the equivalent of maybe off the top of my head, I want to say 3 or 4 red gems, aka gold.
Okay. I will try to go for. I'll go low, and I'll see if
Let's see. I think your voice might have cut out for me again.
I'll try to go low and go for like 3 red gems each.
She starts counting at the payment. I think together it was yes. Yes, I guess that's fair since you are doing some good business with me. I can afford to purchase those components for that much. She pulls out the gems and goes to hand them over to you.
All right. I thank her kindly and consider that a pretty good investment. I'll ask her, if she needs anything else, let me know. I'll stop in again.
Alright. It looks like T-Lated needs to go.
What's that?
One of our teammates needs to go. So, would you guys just like to finish off the scene with the Anubans? Would you like to end and just end for tonight? What would you guys like to do?
Yeah, we can end for the night. Wait for next week with Jay back.
Yeah, good to have a full team, just in case something weird goes down. Because you know how it is. You go to do this, and this, and suddenly you end up in a combat situation you weren't expecting. I've had that happen to me before as a GM. I'm like, I'm not expecting combat. The players do something that the players do something that requires combat, and whoops. I have had that happen before.